Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and welcome in today to Murder Your Bookie, episode 7 zillion at this point. We are on week 15 picks today. We are joined, obviously, with Lucas, who's always here, my co-host, as well as Tyler Moss, NFL on Twitter, who is also here. So we have three guests here, a bit of a three-way, and we're going to have a great time today. Tyler, do you have anything to say here, since you are the guest?
Oh gosh, what a joy it is to be here. Lucas is currently in my room. He's right next to me. We think we're slick and like putting different backgrounds. No, he's trying to muck my sunglass shit. I don't like it. But you know what? He doesn't look as cool as this shader. No one calls me that. I call myself that. Let's get this video off.
Let's go. Lucas, do you have anything else to say?
I'm just glad I can take these sunglasses off now that I have the intro. So
Oh.
yeah, we're well. I think
Very nice.
someone noticed last week. I remember they commented that I was at Tyler's or something. I saw on like Saturday. So
They
back
did
to
know.
another week. Hopefully much better. Hopefully much better than last week, which Nick will obviously recap our record and stuff.
Yes, sir. So before we get into it, I'd like to give you guys a quick word from MyBookie. Shout out to mybookie.ag. It's the most wonderful time of the year that can't end soon enough. We are all deserve a win. We all deserve a little bit of extra money in our pockets. We all deserve to eat a W like our name was famous Jameis Winston. The only place you're guaranteed to get all of that fun is on mybookie.ag. They don't care if you've been naughty like Tyler or if you've been nice like myself. They give you gifts for everyone. Bet NFL, NBA, all your favorite college sports, and more. Sign up today and receive the ultimate stocking stuffer, a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's a great place to start, but we all know Christmas is about what's under the tree, and at MyBookie, that means huge deposit bonuses, epic giveaways, and free contests. It's simple. Sign up, enter promo code NOTORIOUSLY at checkout, and you get your deposit matched halfway up to $1,000. Head over to MyBookie. It's to make your holidays much better this year and strut into 2021 with that cashola in your pocket. This winter, bet with the best, bet with mybookie.ag. So make sure you guys check them out. We are going to get into the show now. But we have to recap our our fucking pick totals right now. I am now, I think, positive. I am at 27 and 31 on normal picks, 10 and 4 on locks, which puts me at 37 and 35 on the year. So congratulations to myself for now not being negative. Lucas 34 and 24, 8 and 6 on locks, 42 and 30 total, 58.33% ROI, and our combined total is 79 and 65 combined ROI, 54.86. So we're beasting right now. Lucas went 1 and 4 last week. I went 4 and 1. So shout out to Lucas for a terrible week.
Yeah, I don't even. The last like four locks I've had have gotten like sniped by not sniped, or they've just gotten. I don't know. The Texans Bears over. They had 36 points in the first half. They scored 6 in the second half. So whatever. We'll just move on. I mean, people probably watching know who your lock is, but obviously we're going to say that for the end. So you can just go ahead start with your number 2 pick if you want.
No.
All right. So my first pick here, or my second pick technically, is the Bills at the Broncos over 49.5. Now, the only worry about this not hitting is when we get, instead of horsecock Drew Lock, we get like micro penis Drew Lock, who just doesn't know how to read a defense and throws like 3 picks. But even in that case, the Bills should be able to score enough points that as long as the Broncos score like 14-ish, that they'd be able to cover the spread. So I do like Bills at Broncos over 49.5. I think the Bills are very strong. I don't think their defense is as stout as many people believe they are. And I think that the Broncos will be able to score a decent amount as long as Drew Lock plays just about okay in my eyes. So I do like the Bills at Broncos over 49.5. First, we'll go to Tyler since he's new here.
I would like to say that I am 1-0 on locks. I made a special guest appearance, and I absolutely cooked. I'm the only one that's undefeated, never lost the bar ball. You know how it is. We're eating all day, eating those W's like we're at mybookie.ag. Yeah, I think it's a solid bet. You're not Lucas, so it's guaranteed to just work out for you. 1 and 4, very poor performance. I just thought I'd highlight that one more time.
What do you think, Lucas, about your Broncos here?
I mean, you said you hit it right on the head with the whole what Drew Lock do we get? There's not really any like changes from last week coming into this week, meaning like injuries or anything. Like it's going to be basically ran the same team we saw last week with the Bills, which is with no John Brown, which we did highlight I think a couple of weeks ago, saying that Allen is very much not as good with John Brown just based on fantasy points per game, which obviously has to do with yards, touchdowns, etc. But he seemed to kind of negate that last week when he kind of shredded pretty much just shredded the Steelers or the fraud Steelers. And now he comes into this week, and like for them, it's kind of a must-win game. I would say it's kind of a put-away game against your guys' Dolphins in a sense that they should be able to knock out the Broncos and kind of create more of a gap. So I think they're going to come out firing. Broncos have like nothing to play for right now, meaning they'll just try and do whatever. They got KJ Hamler more involved last week, so all that just opens up the offense. So I think this is definitely an over bet. 49.5, I think, is a really. I would probably put this at like 52. I think if I had to make lines, kind of from what we've seen this year. So I think 49.5 is pretty solid.
All right. So who's your second pick, Mr. Lucas?
Yeah, my second one here is the Bears and the Vikings at over 47. They played, I think, week 10. Just pulled it up here, and the total was at 44. It did go to 32, the final score, but that was pre-Trubisky, pre-David Montgomery resurgence, just kind of these teams finally figuring it out. I think that the Bears finally did figure it out. Not that they're anything special by any means, but I think both these teams are just kind of sort of doing their own thing right now, in a sense of like their defenses were pretty good and they kind of came back down to earth here. So I think the 47 is just a little low from what we've seen the past couple of weeks with this team. But I do see the side of divisional game, NFC, North divisional game unders are a pretty good hit rate. So I'm just going to take the over here and just hope for a pretty early jump ahead for the Bears like they did last week.
Tyler, what do you think?
The Bears are frauds. Unless Nick Foles is out there, I don't want to watch it. It's just disgusting football. David Montgomery is an absolute muncher, an absolute eater. I think I don't mind the pick. I think Lucas is going to get back on track. He's going to go like 2-3 this week, and really pat himself on the back for finally getting back on track. Come on, expert better over here. If you're not betting the Dolphins, you're a fraud. I think that's my personal take. Nick, what's your thoughts?
My thoughts is that over 47 seems like a good spot. I think that both these teams are going to run the ball a whole lot, which could kind of screw over the over. But if David Montgomery is running as hard as he normally does, and if Dalvin Cook is able to submerge his way balls deep into this Bears defense, I think the over could definitely hit. So my next pick here at number 3, I got the Chiefs at the New Orleans Saints over 51.5. Now, the reports right now, this is going to come out in the morning, so maybe we'll have a better idea tomorrow that Drew Brees could end up playing. Do I think he will? Probably not, but either way, I feel like the Chiefs are just locked and loaded to drop 32 points on the Saints' head top this week. The Saints' defense didn't look very good at all up against the Eagles, which I thought would be very easy for the Saints to look good up against Jalen Hurts, but they didn't. So I think that as long as the Saints can score like 24 points or 21 points, something like that, then this should easily be able to go over 51.5. As long as the Chiefs don't just stop if they're beating them by a zillion, but they typically don't. So what are you thinking, Lucas?
Yeah, I think this one's surprisingly low for kind of – like you said, the Chiefs offense is probably prone to score 30 points in this game. Even if the Saints defense is good, I don't really think the defense matters for who the Chiefs are playing.
Yeah.
And you're kind of moving it to now – like the way the Chiefs are good on defense is their D-line and their corners. They don't have anything. Obviously, they have Tyrann Mathieu, but he plays a lot more of like a slot corner role anyways. He probably, honestly, will be covering MT for the most part, and the Saints don't try and throw the ball besides that. They try and run the ball. I saw Brees is active. I don't know what's going to happen if those split reps. Honestly, if they split reps, I think that's going to help the over because you can't game plan for that. So, yeah, I think this is a little low. I don't expect it to be like a shootout by any means, but I think this is in the 54 to 55 range just because the Chiefs will put up points. And I think the Saints are Sean Payton's a creative enough coach, which we've seen the last 2 weeks, that they can get this offense clicking without a real quarterback.
Yeah. Tyler, what do you think?
Yeah, so this is one I'm actually going to take seriously and maybe give a little analysis for myself. 60-point score in the Dolphins versus Chiefs game. I can see this being a very, very similar game. I have the Chiefs winning. So I could very much see a situation where we see kind of just a close try and comeback very much at the end, kind of helping the spread, helping the over. I could definitely see this going over. Again, 60 points between the Dolphins and the Chiefs. That's probably the best defense the Chiefs have faced passing-wise, at least. And while the Saints kind of have some pretty solid corners as well, I could definitely see them putting up 30-plus points. It's really on the Saints. Will they put up the numbers that the Dolphins did? I think it's very much a possibility, and I would honestly say that, yeah, it should be able to definitely smash over here. what was the line? What, 52?
51.5.
51. I mean, that's ridiculous. I could see this easily if I would have said it, probably 55. I mean, yeah, I see last week's game against the Dolphins as the very much comp to this.
All right, so that makes a lot of sense because I agree because I made the pick. So Lucas, what is your third most confident pick?
Yeah. My third one here is the Texans +7 on the Colts. A little shocked, I guess. 'Cause I think we both had a couple picks within this game. 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
When the line was at Houston +3.5. Obviously, they were at home. There's no home field advantage anyway. So you're implying that 1 week of sample of the Colts beating the Raiders and the Texans losing to the Bears, which I get. The Bears aren't a good loss, but it was a weird game. Like Montgomery had like 12 rushing attempts and they were up by like 25 the whole game. Like it's just kind of a fluky game. So I don't really think that implies a 3.5 point swing with a quarterback like Deshaun Watson. I think we mentioned it last week. They were one play away from winning the game against the Colts 2 weeks ago. They just fumbled the ball. So I think the +7 is just take the touchdown gap for a much better quarterback. I get the team's not as good, but it's just the line doesn't add up from 2 weeks ago to this week.
Yeah, give your fourth pick too, since in the same game.
Yeah,
And me and Tyler were talking about it.
Yeah, kind of going into the next pick, my fourth pick, it's the over 51. It was set at 50 2 weeks ago. Obviously, we hit 46, which they fumbled the ball. Would have been 52, 53, maybe 54 if they had to go for two. We mentioned it last week in the Colts Raiders over. Obviously, I took the Texans Bears over, and the Texans just couldn't keep their end for one of the games. So another line that I think is super low. I think this is one where I think this one out of all the ones we mentioned should be in the 54 range, 55 range, just due to the explosive. But even more so now the Colts finally have JT and TY going. So I definitely think this is a pretty safe over pick with just what we saw 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I agree more with the over than the spread, but I'm not saying that Houston's going to be wrong, but I just don't trust Houston necessarily in this game. I do think the Colts are going to score a lot of points. T.Y. Hilton has scored in each of the last 3 games. He scored 2 tugs last week, I believe. Up against Houston, this should be very easy for Jonathan Taylor to get it going as well. And as long as the Texans kind of just trail behind and put up some points, I really do like the over. I'm not too sure about the spread, though, because I don't know. Deshaun Watson it doesn't seem like they have enough guys there. He was throwing touchdowns last week to fucking Chad Hansen, the local frat boy, scored a couple touchdowns. Or not a couple. He didn't even score, I don't think, but he did play well. But with that said, I'll agree with the over 51 and I'll take Houston as well, but I'm not as certain on Houston. Tyler, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, we did see Will Fuller alive and well and taking his PEDs against the Colts last time the two teams played. So there's a likelihood that that plays into it as well. I don't know if I like the spread. I don't know if I'm sitting with that, but I could definitely see the over hitting. Again, the math is just there. Lucas did it for you. I don't do math. I didn't pass it in college. I'm barely passing. I'll say that. Mom's not proud, but I like the overtake here. Just not real confident about the spread. And as a Dolphin fan, I'm agitated because I don't know who to vote for. Do we want to get in the playoffs or we want a really high pick? I kind of want both. Can they both lose? Let's see. Maybe a tie. That'd be perfect.
All right, so my next pick here is the Jets at the Los Angeles Rams. I'm taking the Rams -17. Fuck it. I mean, the Jets just can't score. It's plain and simple. The Jets can't score. As long as Sean McVay decides to run up the score, this is going to be a murder of the New York Football Jets. Adam Gase is going to be having to snort all types of coke to get through this matchup. The Rams defense is unreal. Mono man Sam Darnold won't be able to pass on them. They won't be able to run on him with old man Frank fucking Gore. This is going to be the easiest bet I've ever seen in my life, but it's not easy because -17 is very scary. Even with that said, I still think the Rams are going to be able to cover that as long as Cam Akers is looking as good as he did last week, because he might score 50 points himself in this matchup. So, Tyler, what are you thinking about the LA Rams -17 up against the Jumbo Jets?
Yeah, this is strictly a will the Rams just stop playing in the second half kind of question. We've seen a lot of teams do it against the Jets, unless you're the Raiders, who actually have to find ways to win games against the Jets. I don't get it. They honestly, the Jets should have won. It would have helped the Dolphins, but teams have walked into the second half against the Jets and really put zero emphasis in trying to score. I don't really see that the Rams are going to have an issue holding this team to anything more than just a field goal. I know that sounds tough, but it just kind of is what it is. They're very similar to the Dolphins in kind of how they just suffocate passing, except they do a lot better on the run defense as well. So old man Gore probably not going to do all that well. I seriously can't see this team scoring double-digit points. I don't know what the over/under is in this game, but it may just be worth smashing the under just because I think the Rams will score 20 points and that'll be it. Like that'll seriously just be it, and they'll just stop playing. So yeah, 17 is really just a risk that comes from will the Rams just stop playing in this game? That's what you're looking at when you take this bet. You'd really like for it to hit because it should if they played all 4 quarters. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, the over/under on mybookie.ag code notoriously is 43.5. So I'm not sure. It's so low.
I know it sounds crazy, but I would say I would say bet the under, honestly.
All right, Lucas, what do you think?
I don't see the Jets putting up more than 10 points, seriously.
Yeah, I think this is one where the Rams are just going to try and put the hammer down, just in context of they're in hypothetically one game ahead of Seattle, but they're the same record, but they are winning the division. They play Seattle and Arizona. Seattle plays obviously the football team this week, so you kind of have to imply they'll win that. And then they play the Rams and then the Niners. So it's kind of like coming down to they kind of have to make a statement. I know I've talked about these a couple times. Obviously, I took the Chiefs last week based on that. And I mean, the process was there. The Dolphins is backdoored it at the end.
Built different.
So, yeah, I mean, they still covered. But yeah, I think, I mean, like, there's no other line I would take in this game. I think if you can get 16.5, that'd be more ideal. Maybe buy a point down or something. But yeah, I mean, the Rams defense is on the complete other spectrum of Seattle's defense, and they only allowed 3 points to the Jets. So I think this is definitely the side you want to be on.
See, I always think the number is too high, and then the Jets just get absolutely butt fucked by like 32, and then you feel like an idiot.
The Seattle was 16.5 last week. The Chiefs were 20, like 5 weeks ago, but the Bills were like 10.5. Obviously that game was a lot closer because the Bills had some injuries and stuff. So it's definitely like pretty aligned with where I think kind of the Rams are at this year. So I think it's if you're gonna do it, just kind of go for it because the line is pretty true to the value of it.
All right, what's your pick, Lucas, here for number 5, and then I'll go with my 5, and then we're going into the locky locks.
Yep. So my last one here is the Carolina Panthers +9 against the Packers on I think the early game Saturday. I think it's really just the Panthers are such a good I mean the Chiefs. They played the Chiefs a couple weeks ago, and they just continued to kind of bounce back in this game because they're so fundamentally sound with having weapons. They're good coach. The quarterback is safe. Like it just 9 just seems like way too many points. Really to even to give the Packers defense, which is nothing special. I mean, I'm not saying like they're going to shut down Rodgers and Adams, like they're going to get their own, but I think that 9 is too much. Take the 9 and just let Teddy B kind of backdoor cover it. We see quarterbacks like this, like Joe Burrow was covering these backdoors just because their offense is pretty good. I'm pulling it now. The Chiefs were favored by 10 on the Panthers, and the Panthers lost by 2. So it's kind of a similar sort of vibe with you're just kind of chasing the backdoor of the Panthers here. So I kind of like the 9 here.
All right. I don't know what to think about the Panthers because I thought the Panthers defense was very good. And I thought they were pretty decent, but then last week they just got fucked by Drew Lock. So I don't know what to think of. I don't really know what to think about it, but I do think
they're kind of like safe. Like they just like, I don't know. They don't like get exploded on, but like they don't like Adams is going to go for 100 and a touchdown or 2. Like, but like, I don't think you have to worry about like anyone else going crazy on them in the sense of like MVS probably won't go for 100 yards. Like they're going to limit all these other factors and just make them kind of make the Packers win on defense. So I don't really know if they can. I guess is kind of the way to look at it.
Okay. So yeah, I kind of agree with you. Tyler, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't mind it. Panthers are a dangerous team to bet with though. So they always surprise me. And I guess you want to take the chance that Panthers lock them down, at least enough to cover. You roll with it. I don't bet the Panthers. I don't bet at all. I just win in my locks. That's the truth.
That is very true. So my final pick here before we get into the locks, I got Seattle versus Washington under 44.5. Now this might be kind of a down play, but I don't think that Washington is going to put up 7 zillion points. And I'm pretty sure the Seattle Seahawks are not going to be able to score a lot on the Washington football team defense. The only way this goes over, in my opinion, is if the Washington defense just collapses and Seattle just runs an absolute train on them with Russell Wilson. But how the Washington defense has looked thus far and how they're not using Terry McLaurin for some fucking reason just scares me away. So I'll take the under 44.5, even though it's so low. I just feel like, I don't know, this game to me just screams like a real boring game, kind of like the Giants versus Seattle did a couple weeks ago. What do you guys think?
This is, I don't know. Like, I feel like Washington matches up really well in this game. I think they're going to kind of shut down Seattle's sort of just slow run game, and obviously, like, you don't shut down DK. He gets his zone, and like, I don't know. Yeah, I definitely think that's the right side. To be honest, the right bet to place in this game. So it's kind of a weird. I don't know. Like, the line's kind of weird. There's a couple of injuries that popped up. Like, you kind of expecting kind of a down game for Russ in a sense. We don't know who the quarterback for the football team is, and obviously that'll affect the line. Well, maybe I don't really know if Haskins is much worse than Smith in a sense of line movement or anything. So definitely a weird game, but I think you have the right side for sure.
Yeah, what do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, run game we don't know. Quarterback play we don't know. I really do not like Washington. But Seattle's weird, and the pass rushers for Washington will get to Russ because the line is just rough and the run game is going to be shut down. So it's just a weird game. I'm smashing the under. That's for dang sure. That's my call. That'll be another stamp on the day here on the video. That's another under call. Tyler's the king of the unders, and I'm going under in this game. Bam.
Except for Patriots versus Rams, where he called for over.
Tough. Yeah, tough for me.
All right, so now into the lock section of the video. If you guys have ended up enjoying, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you also check out mybookie.ag, code notoriously. So my lock, as you guys know, it's always the fucking Dolphins. Dolphins -2.5. The Dolphins are a cover machine up against the Chiefs. It's too fucking easy. Jason Sanders dingers that one in earlier in the game. We win the fucking game. I'm telling you that right now. If you didn't miss before halftime, we beat the Chiefs. We murdered the Chiefs, just like we're going to murder your bookie this week. This week, we get the Patriots. We are going to butt fuck Bill Belichick and make the guy cry. All right, Bill Belichick is very good normally up against rookie quarterbacks, but Tua, he's built different. He's no Justin Herbert. He's going to go in there in New England, or it's in Miami. He's going to fly straight home to Miami and then just destroy the Patriots. I don't think the Patriots stand a chance here. I think the Dolphins should be like minus at least 4.5, 5.5. This is going to be a murder, in my opinion. Dolphins by 1,000.
True.
Fuck the Patriots.
Yeah, can't wait to tweet another stat line of Herbert against them and then Tua against them, just for me to be right, because I'm just always right. So yeah, no, it's a smash pick. Dolphins, I'm calling the over too. Whatever the over line is, Dolphins are going to hit that point total. All the Patriots got to do is score like once. So it's going to be a blowout. Dolphins by 1 million, always. Million beers, 1 million points. Miami Dolphins, Tua, greatest team in the league. Let's roll, baby.
Greatest quarterback of all time versus a bum in Cam Newton. Should be simple. What do you think, Lucas?
I mean, I kind of like, I don't know. Like, if I were to make the line, I'd make it like 4, like you guys.
That's what I was saying.
But I don't know, because there's still the aspect of Belichick. But then, like, I kind of see the vibe of like the Patriots are just going to come out and tank. Like last second they put in Stidham like to start the game because they can't get in the playoffs anymore. Like, I mean, they can, but they can't get in the playoffs anymore. So like, I kind of see a path where like Belichick's like, sure, you guys can win. Like, like make your draft pick higher, make ours lower. So like, I think this will be kind of a fun game to sort of, I don't know. Like, I mean, like if I'm going to bet it, I'm taking the Dolphins under a touchdown or under a field goal. Like, I'm not maybe tease the Patriots, I guess, but like, I think it's definitely the right side. I think it's just going to be an interesting game with all the history and kind of the way the AFC East is kind of broken down this year.
I mean, the Dolphins normally beat the Patriots at home. So to me, this just seems like a complete lock. So I don't know. I don't think the Patriots are even going to come close in this one. This is going to be a murder. I'm going to take the Dolphins -10 as well. Get the extra juice. Fuck the Patriots. Dolphins by 1 million. So, Lucas, what is your lock here?
So every time that I've taken the Chiefs as my lock, I've never won. And every time you've taken the Dolphins as a lock, you've always won. So I went back to the Chiefs this week.
How does he hit himself?
I mean, the last 3, the Bucs game, like they pushed and yeah, whatever. So Chiefs -3 against the Saints. I don't care who plays quarterback for the Saints. Anytime you can get the Chiefs at less than 3 or less, like you just have to take it. Like Mahomes threw 3 picks last week, and obviously they didn't cover by a point or whatever. Like they had to cover, obviously backdoor. Like he still gets his own. He still gets up to whatever fantasy point boundary you want to set. Like he's going to get there, especially against the Saints team that just got hosed by Jalen Hurts. Mahomes can run the ball. Like who's going to guard Tyreek? Who's going to guard Kelsey? And on the flip side, like I know I just said that the Saints kind of match up well to like exploit the Chiefs, but it's not like Taysom Hill like dotting up the secondary of the Chiefs or like throwing the ball over the place. So I think it's just take the 3. This line will only move in favor of the Chiefs to 3.5 to 4. So I'm just going to take the 3. Probably miss it by like a point or something stupid because that's how the Chiefs work on the locks with me. And Nick's the king of the locks, anyways. He's carrying us. So
King of the castle.
take the Chiefs. I don't know. I'm just going to take 3. I'll take 3 with Mahomes over Taysom Hill, who's throwing like 30 passes in his whole career. So.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, shout out to Snacks and Animal who are just getting absolutely bumfucked by us. Shout out to them, honestly.
We're
It's
up by
real close.
5. I was just checking when you were talking. We're up by 5 right now.
By 5. Gonna be up by 7 by the end of this. It's too easy. Tyler, what do you think about Kansas City -3? Because if I'm being honest with you, this seems like an easy pick, but somehow the Saints are gonna fucking win this game.
Yeah, they'll cover something stupid or tie the game or something.
I mean, it's not a Dolphin lock, so I'm not here for that. Go Dolphins. You know what they say. It fins up. Love life. Tua for president. Tua for MVP. Tua for offensive player of the year. Tua for rookie of the year. Let's roll. Devontae Parker, who's she? Mike Gesicki's the real god here. Rip Lucas's DraftKings lineups.
Exactly. Shout out to Adam Shaheen, tight end 1 this week. The GOAT. So, do you guys have anything else to say before we hop out of here? No.
No. I promised a 10-0 week by the end of the season. I don't know.
Well, you kind of fucked it up last week by going 1-4. So
yeah, I'll promise an undefeated week by the end of the Super Bowl. So we're obviously going to condense it down when it comes to that. But we'll have NBA stuff coming up here soon. I think the season starts in a week. I think. Yeah.
Shout out to the NBA.
Yeah, we'll get some NBA stuff rolling for sure too. Nick's more the NBA betting guy, so we'll.
I'm a sharp on the NBA. Actually, I looked at like that fucking app, and I don't even know. My record's like insane on there on NBA. I'm just a straight up sharp. I don't even watch basketball. Just pick the pretty colors, you win. That's how you do it. It's pretty simple.
There you go. Yeah.
I will tell you my actual record in NBA. I'm 49-34, 59%. I'm a fucking sharp. That's what they call me. That's a sharp. So, Tyler, anything to say here?
Yeah, absolutely. Lucas is going to be back Super Bowl weekend, so once again we're going to be in the same room. Wow, wild, right? We may have an appearance from Snacks, maybe from Nick. We'll see. Depend on this virus shit. Let's get it over with. Get Nick down here for Super Bowl weekend. We'll have a live Murder Your Bookie along with.
We're gonna murder him on Twitter.
We're gonna murder him on camera.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely excited. We got quality content coming soon. Daniel Adam, all right.
Yeah, shout out to Daddy, the Ladster. So thank you guys all so much for watching again. MyBookie.ag, code notoriously at checkout. Help me and Lucas out. Help Tyler out too, because he gets nothing for this. Because fuck Tyler. Have a great rest of your guys' day. MyBookie.ag, code notoriously at checkout. I love you all. Follow Lucas on Twitter because he actually tweeted once in the last 5 weeks. So.
I did put out a tweet. It was a good one too.
It was very nice, as they would say in Borat. So have a great rest of your guys' day. Good boy.